Hello and welcome to the Forgotten Bookshop Girl. I am Nina and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these little angels. We've got another one, I hope you can see her. She is sitting on top of the books. So I folded her to look like she's sitting, and I've done the same thing with her, so she was sitting on a shelf. So first of all, the things we're going to need for this is obviously a little person we can turn into an angel. The best place to look for something that could work is either in a catalogue, a magazine, or any images. You could actually use an image of a family member as long and printed, that is printed out, as long as the person is facing you and you have the whole person on the on the image from head to toe. I'm going to show you a few examples of people that would be really good to use, and then we'll go and talk about the other items we need. Okay, I'll move her out of the way. I should say I got these two models out of a Gudrun Sjödens catalogue, and I'm quite aware that I most probably mispronounced the names. I do apologise for this. These two didn't come out of this particular catalogue, but I'm going to use a model from this one for this tutorial. Yes, so a few other examples that would work. For example, you have, she would work really well, and I also like the fact that she is reading, so she could sit on top of books and read. This is another one that would work really well. Then this is one that would work. You just have to remember that you need to be, you will be fussy cutting the little person, so anything that might be too thin or too fiddly might be difficult. In here you would most probably it would be easier to cut it out with a knife rather than scissors. Then these two would work really well. I quite like this little girl. However, again, you've got the arms are quite thin, just thinking about the cutting out, and then this would be quite tricky to cut, so I don't know if I would want that. Then if you decided to just kind of like cut this off, she would just have her hand in the air, and you also have to think also if the person is taken out of context, does what the person is doing still make sense? Then this one I really like as well. And then I've got a few examples of images that might be problematic, just to give you an idea of what to look for. Because I said one thing you could do is already use a sitting person. You would that would work. However, I really like her because you could have this bored or tired angel. However, we can't see her other hand. In this context, we know that her hand is just buried in the fur. But if she was cut out and taken out of context, she would be missing a hand. So you would either have to hide her hand somewhere when you're putting her, somewhere to sit, or think of something else to do. Then we've got her, and this model would actually work really nicely. However, if you can maybe tell that the hand is a bit blurred because the photograph was taken while she was moving her hand, which makes total sense in the image. In this photograph, it doesn't matter. But if you were to cut her out, her hand, you would pay more attention to her hand, and it might look a little bit strange that it's blurred or just really big. Okay. Now with these two, as you can see, the paper is quite thin, so all I've done is just cut out the actual page, or the image of on the page. But I thought I might want them, and they do sit for a while, but then they get a bit floppy. So I'll just get her back in. So with this one, even though she did sit nicely in the beginning, she kind of falls over, so I had to prop her up with something. So I thought for this tutorial I'm going to back them with very, very thin cardstock. So now we get to the other things we're going to use for this tutorial, which is scissors. We're going to use a pencil, possibly a knife, depending on what our little characters look like. We are going to need wings, and I've got some templates in wing shape, and I'm going to try and see how I can create a download for you so you could use the wings. Then I've used book pages for the wings, so obviously we're going to need a book, and then some cardstock. If you've got thin cardstock, then just use whatever you've got. Something else that works really well, if you've got some magazines have the front and back page is of a thicker material, so this would work really well because it's not too thick, but it definitely would give it a little bit of more stability. And then obviously if you're gluing your figure onto the cardstock, you would need some glue. Right, so let me just show you I've got two little people I'm going to be using, one sitting and the other one standing. So let's go back to the catalogue, and I was choosing something out of this catalogue because it has this lovely winter theme, and I thought I could create something a little bit more like a Christmas angel. So the first one I went for is this image, and I didn't really want to cut it out of the catalogue because it has another image I really like on the back. So I didn't want to destroy the image, and also I thought I might be wanting to use her for different projects. So I decided to use my inkjet printer and print it out a copy. My inkjet printer isn't fabulous, but it'll do for this project, so I just printed it out. I'll just quickly show you the other image, and I went for her because I like the fact that she's sitting, and I think that the way she's sitting here would work quite well. It's quite easy to cut her out and then add some wings and have her sitting on some books. However, I wouldn't fold her, whereas I would did fold this one to make her look like she was sitting, but I wouldn't do it with this one. Okay, and then again I made an inkjet printer copy of her. Right, so there we go. So the next thing I did, so I said this is the inkjet printer copy. The next thing I did was just sort of like roughly cut around the figure, and then I got my cardstock, and then I just glued it onto the cardstock, and then I put it under some heavy books so it would dry flat. You know, I have to admit I didn't wait for long enough, so because the cardboard will kind of like warp a little bit, but you can always put them back under some heavy books, and that should work. So once the glue had dried, all I had to do was sort of cut around the edges, because this is a really fine line. I have to be quite careful. Then she has ice skates, which I think is really brilliant. So, you know, it was a bit tricky cutting around the ice skates, and the crown was really difficult to do. And then these little areas, I used a craft knife to cut these out, because I don't want to bore you. Didn't want to, you know, bore you with having to watch me sort of cut out a whole figure. I've got it all prepared. So see, she needs to go under some books to get flattened, but never mind. Right, so this is the cutout person. As you can see, I've added some glitter. It's just glitter glue to the crown, the little ice skates, and a little bit to the skirt, because I thought I wanted to turn it into kind of a little bit like a Christmassy winter angel. And it was fun to play around with the glue. So the next thing we're going to do is the wings, but let me just show you the other one. I've done the same thing. I had a copy. I put the copy onto some thin cardstock and then just cut it out. And I'm definitely going to add some glitter to her skirt. I might do that in the end. So we need 2 pairs of wings. Now I have to just see, what did I do with the wings? Where did there we go. Okay, so I've got a few. I think these were probably too big for her, so we need the next size down. Or do I want the bigger ones? Let's have a look. I might want something that is just slightly smaller than this. And for her, these wings are definitely too big. So what I've already done, I've prepared a smaller version of the wings, and I'm kind of quite happy with these. But just to show you what I do if I find that a pair of wings is too big or too small, what I've done is, for example, for her, I used the smaller wings and thought those looked too big, so I just got a bit of cardstock, but you can just use paper, that would work really well. And then I just traced round it. There we go. Oops. Try not to move your template while you're drawing around it. So I've got the shape, and then because I just wanted it a little bit smaller, so I just went kind of inside the line and just kind of followed. I'm just doing this really quickly, but just to give you an idea of how and this is by no means perfect, but just to show you how I created a smaller wing. And if you wanted a bigger one, you would do the same thing, but kind of trace a line on the outside, kind of, and then when you cut it out, you can always adjust it. But this is how I get them bigger or smaller. So now I will need the book. Let's give her the wings first. Right, let's have these over here. I just noticed it's getting darker outside, so I hope the video isn't too dark. You can still see what I'm doing. It's another overcast day. It was actually quite nice and sunny earlier, but of course it decided to change while I was filming. Right. Obviously, I really like to use book pages for my angels' wings, but you can use anything. You could use silver paper or any colour you want to go for. But I quite like the idea of them having wings made from book pages. So again, right, I need to trace one. And for the other wing, I need to turn it around. There we go. Just realised I should have had a prepared set of finished wings. Oop. There. So you don't have to wait. Okay. So what I need to do is connect have a look at what we... Oopsie. There you go, one wing done. An idea is if you're using book pages, maybe make sure to have a quick read what's on the page, because you might not want any swear words on your wings. Also, what I should have done with this one, we've got a paragraph finishing here, so we've got this gap. If I paid more attention, I think I would have preferred the wings to just have continuous text on them, but I'll just use this for now. I'll just try and very quickly cut out the second wing. It's really strange doing it from this angle, because obviously I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. And I would normally be a bit more precise, but I just don't want you to get bored watching me cut wings. Right. Okay, so we've got, oops, floating around. So we've got her two wings, and then you can just decide on how you want the wings. You can have them, you know, that could look quite nice. So I would usually sort of faff around for I don't know how long, but what I'll do, because at the moment I can't make up my mind how I want the wings to be looking on her, so I might just use a little bit of blue tack. And I'll probably go back and redo the wings. Come on. So I'll just use that. Okay, let's have them like this. Oops. Oh no, let's have them on this side. Okay, so just for now, we'll stick with the wings like this. And then what I thought we could do, because if you look at her, she's already sitting, so I don't think I need to fold her. So what I thought I could do is maybe just have some blue tack and then just stick her either to the edge of a shelf. I'll turn that around so you can see this. So you can have her sitting on the edge of a book or a shelf or something. So you could have her sitting there, and this is, I've just used the, well, I think it's not blue tack, it's white tack, but you know, one of those things. So that might be an idea. The other thing you could do, I probably wouldn't do that with a book. I mean, if you wanted to be a bit more, not permanent, but you could use double-sided tape. Even though I would quite like to be able to move my angel around, so I don't think I would be using double-sided tape, but that's kind of another idea. Okay, well, let's move her out of the way. And now with her, I won't be going through the whole process of cutting the wings, because I've already shown you how to do the wings. So let's just pretend that she's got the wings. And the next thing I would do, I mean, you could have her just standing up somewhere, because she does look really nice. I actually thought she would make a really nice treetop angel. If you wanted her to sit, what I've done, yeah, let's go back to this one. When you want them to sit, obviously you have to fold them. And what I've done, once I've cut them, you know, I've cut out the angel, I've added the wings, I kind of played around with it and so folded it really, really gently to see where I would probably have to put the fold so she looks like she's sitting somewhere. But it's obviously, and I did the same thing with her, but it's obviously a lot easier to do this when you've just got the paper and not the cardstock. So in this case, I'm a bit reluctant because I don't want to make permanent creases in case I got it wrong. So my idea for this one was to get a second copy, and you could just probably cut around the edges a bit closer, but you wouldn't really have to fussy cut it, and then just play around with this one and kind of see where you wanted. I think I've kind of worked out, I don't know if that's, if you can see that well. So we would have something like that. Then I would prop her on a book or a shelf and see if that made, you know, if those creases made sense and if she looked like she was sitting. If not, I'll just straighten it out and, you know, and play around with it even more. And once I'm happy, let's say, okay, yeah, I'm happy with these two creases, then I can go back to the other one and then just kind of like copy the lines carefully and then fold this one along the lines. But actually now I have to say, I'm not quite sure. I might want her on either on the treetop or just standing somewhere, so I'm not going to fold her, but I hope the way I've explained it makes kind of like sense on how to fold them so that you've got a figure sitting. Yeah, and then I would just sit her on a shelf or something. What I found with the other little figures that were just made from paper, that I just put a little bit of blue tack kind of like on their bottoms, and that helped to keep them in place, and that gave them also a little bit of weight. So the last thing I'm just going to do, because I did promise some glitter on her skirt, so I thought I could just show you how I did that. I might, let's see. We could do, I think we might do with some pink glitter, because in this one I went obviously for silver, then the bronze colored ones, and here I had, I think, a silver and a blue. So I might just start with the light pink, and I just kind of put a little bit on the skirt and then just used my finger to just gently spread it. Also, you have to be a little bit careful, because obviously with if you're using you know, an inkjet printer, you don't want the ink to dissolve. So that, okay, that works quite well. I think I might want a little bit more glitter, so I'll add this one to the mix. And this time I might just Maybe put a little bit on my finger. You could also put a little bit of glitter on the wings. I might do that. And kind of add that to it. Oops. And then she's got some glitter on her lovely skirt. And what I did with the ice skates, because I think she could do with some glitter. I think that's the one I used. So I just went, I have to try not to touch the wet glue. I just went along the edge. Okay, I need to concentrate now. Oops. Kind of. And a little bit here. Yeah, and that's how I did the ice skates. So I think I might, later I might try and see what it would look like if we had a little bit of glitter on the wings, because I think that would look quite nice. Alright, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I hope the light was, I know it wasn't good, but I hope it was good enough for you to be able to see what I've been doing. If you've got any more questions about this, put it into the comments below the video. And as I said, I'll see if I can find a way that you can get hold of the templates for the wings. It might not be immediately after I've uploaded the video, but I'll try my best. Okay, then I'm wishing you all a lovely day, and I hope I've inspired you to make some little, I always call them book angels because they've got book pages for wings, so let's call them book angels. All right, have a lovely day. Bye.